Yeah. Background jobs is the like to do the mass activities, like mass processing activities, we can use the background jobs. And normally in R3, how we are creating a background jobs is like a in SM36, we are giving the program and variant, we are creating the background jobs. So here also some jobs we are creating by SM36 and relevant program and variant we are taking and we are creating. But but other than this one, in SAP, APO, DP, we have the special functionality how to create a background jobs. So for example, here we are creating the activities and we are creating the background jobs and we are scheduling it and then we are monitoring. Like that we have the total 4 steps are there. Normally why we need this background jobs and why we need to run by background jobs only. Say for example now in our practice we are running the statistical forecast in the interactive planning table and the alerts like we are executing by macro that is also doing into the interactive planning screen. But in the real time, like if it is like a 10,000 products are there, if you run the interactive planning, might be it will give a dump. As per the SAP standards, if you run anything more than 5 minutes in the interactive planning, like it is running means like if you are executing something. Like normally if you are going to the screen and if you are loading the data, you are seeing the data, analyzing the data, that will not impact. Like for example, if any statistical forecast or any alerts or any macros running more than 5 minutes continuously same macro or same statistical forecast, it will give a dump. So normally it is not like a reporting tool, so it will not support for that much of level data. So that is the reason, like whatever the mass data, like if it is 10 records or 20 records for the statistical forecast, right away, if you want, you can run in the interactive planning. So whatever the mass data, but in the real time, we will have like a 1,000 records. Like if you are running 1,000 products, if I am running 1,000 products statistical forecast, so the 1,000 products are like in different locations, like a 10 location. So 1,000 into 10, like we have the 10,000 combinations are there. So it will run by combination level. So it is always recommended to run into the background. And another advantage, for example, if you are running the night all these background jobs, if it is taking like a 4 hours or 5 hours, like next day morning, if users come to the system, they can directly see the results. If you are running at the user's time, unless like if it will be lost the planning area, so they should sit ideally. So that is also another advantage. Like in the background job, simply we can schedule it in the night time, so that time nobody, no users will not use the system. So once morning the users will come into the system, just like they will go and they will check the results. And to running the background jobs, we can like no need any manual interruption. Just we can schedule it so that whatever the time and whatever the date, whatever the week we are given, particular the time, week, date, the job will be run. So here we need not to remember particular day manually. We need not to run anything. So that is also another advantage of this background job.
And like for Kalyan, for DP background jobs, so we don't use SM36, we use other transactions.
Actually, some we are using the SM36, and as for the like this process, like we have to do only some jobs only. It is nothing but like one is the master forecast profile, like a statistical forecast. By creating the activity, we can run the statistical forecast jobs background, and whatever the macros we can run in the background. Macros means it is including the alerts also. And another one is the releasing the forecast to SNP. That is also we can perform by background, and transfer the forecast to the R3 system. So these 4 activities we can run into the background, like by creating this menu parser. Or like remaining things like a time series, those things if you want we can create directly in SM36. Like I think we saw that time to create a time series in SM36. Anyway, we will repeat it, no problem. So like one we can create by SM36, another one, we can follow the activity and the creation of the background job, that process. And another thing, in the DP, we are using the process chains also. Like whatever the jobs we have created in the system, we can keep as a steps in the process chain. So that process chain will like clubbing the all the jobs and it will run in one shot.
Okay.
So compared to the performance running by background jobs, process chain is the better. So mostly in the DB we are using the process chains only. Anyway, how to create a process chain we will cover in the BW session. So that time we will create a process chain and we will run, and I will show how to monitor those things also. How to create, how to monitor, how to schedule, everything I will show that.
So process change is a collective background job, is a collection of background jobs.
Yeah, it's collection of background jobs. Anyway, I will detailedly explain you about the process chains in the process chain time.
Sure.
So this is the concept of the background jobs, and to create a background job, SAP menu, APO, demand planning, and demand planning in the background. So if you go to here, you can see define activity for mass processing and create a demand planning in the background. This is for the change option, this is for the deletion, this is for the copy, and this is for the check. And like display, you can say like a display also. And this is for the scheduling, and this is for the monitoring. And this is the to manage the logs. So first we need to define an activity. What is the activity you want to do by background job? Say for example, I want to create a APO alerts I am creating in the background. So I will go to the create. So if you go to the activity, here you can see forecast, macros, release profile, and a transfer profile. So using this activity, whatever we can run in the background means we can run the statistical forecast, and we can execute the macros, and we can release the forecast, and we can transfer the forecast. Release the forecast is the ECC SNP system, and transfer the forecast is the ECC system. And other than this one, remaining jobs we can create into the SM36 by using the program and variant.
Yeah, that clear.
Example like a time series or consistency check, those we can do it. Or in the process chain also directly we can take the steps, maybe that we can see into the process chain time also. So typically these are the options. Either you can run by creating activities and running by background jobs, or in SM36 we can create a job and we can define a jobs in the process chain. Like these are the three areas cover like entire jobs in the system.
Okay.
Now I will take the planning book. At what planning book I want to run this one? It means like a if you want to execute the select macro where the macro is available. So we have created this macro in the ZAPO1 month. Planning book is the ZAPO1 and data view is the month. So here I am executing the macro like alerts macro. So I will go to the macro. Anyway, next we will run the forecast. First we will run this one, next we will run this one. And here you can select the macro, whatever the macro you want to run. Say for example, I want to run a negative forecast macro, like alerts macro. So select this one and execute it, so that it will appear here. Like it means it is ready for the action.
Okay.
For example, if I want to run more macros in the same job, like 4-5 macros I want to run here, then
Okay.
the action counter is 1 now, so go down and select the other macro, say for example total forecast, and execute it.
Okay.
So that what will happen, first the negative forecast will run and then the total forecast will be run. Like that, if you want n number of jobs also we can run.
Okay.
Otherwise I will run first total forecast, then I will run the negative forecast. Total forecast, like once it is calculated the total forecast, then we can see the negative forecast, like that.
Yes.
So like that, if you want n number of macros also we can add here.
Okay.
And another important thing, like whenever you are creating the macros in the workbench, you can see start macro, default macro, exit macro, and level change macro. In the background job, we cannot run the level change macro,
Okay.
because normally in the level change you are doing into the interactive planning only, so there only we can able to run that one. Here only we can run by a background, either start or default or exit macros. Only these are the fields here. So I am saving the activity. Then we have to create a job. Like first we are defining what is the activity I want to do. Next one, for that particular activity I am creating one job. I am creating one background job. ZAPO1 ZAPO1 alert. Here you can give the planning book. At what planning book you want to run it, and what is the data view we want to run, and what is the version. Execute it. Here you can select the activity. What is the activity you want to execute for this background job? So we want to execute the alerts. So I will take that alerts activity, and this is a parallel processing. Like there is a 1000 records are there. By using the parallel processing, if we go to change mode here, we can make it as plots. Like if the total 10,000 records are there, I will parallelly process 5,000 records and 5,000 records. Like we will put a block size. Like if you have the different server, we can do the server groups also. So that instead of running at the same server group, it will split to the different server groups, and 10,000 records like a parallelly run 5,000 records and 5,000 records. So that instead of taking 1 hour, it will take just 40 minutes.
Okay.
And generate the logs. If you take this one, you will be able to see the spool. And here,
Yeah.
if we want to run specific to any selection, so we need to select the selection ID. Like whatever the selection ID we have created, we can select that particular selection ID, so that the job will execute for particular this selection ID. It means, say for example, in the statistical forecast, we are grouping all constant products in one selection ID, and we will select the selection ID and we will run constant model, like that. Like that we can restrict at what product and what location, like only like whatever the selection, particularly the selection I want to run, like that we can restrict here.
Okay.
Or I want to run more selections, you can take the several selections. So if you select several, it will give whatever the selections are there, like that we can tick 1, 2, 3, like that whatever you want we can select it. And if you don't give anything, whatever the total data in the system, it will run it, all the selection ID.
Okay.
And aggregated level, like at what level the job you want to run, you can select here. Say for example, we are releasing a forecast for like, or we are running the statistical forecast product and location level example. So I will select only product and location. And alerts, I want to check the alert only this level, product, location, and sales organization. So I will select only these three, like that. At what is the combination you want to run this particular job, or you want to run this data. So you can select that particular combination. So we will select all, continue. Then go to the number of planning objects. Here it will show for this particular job how many CVCs are there for running.
Okay.
Like we have the product 1, product 2, and product 3, and P like, and P phase in, phase out. So 5 combinations we have. So it is showing the 5 records here. Okay, Sandeep, clear?
Yeah, this is clear. And like when you were putting in the planning version as 000, it always has to be 0.
Yeah. Actually, there is a active version is a 000, and other than active versions, we can create a inactive versions like a 001, 002 something. But whatever the activities we are doing into the active version, this will only use for the releasing for other systems, and this is the real data. But if I want to do for some like a simulation purpose, then you can do into the inactive versions. And we have the job like a to copy the data from one version to another version.
Okay.
Say for example, from active version to you want to send some data to inactive version, we can use that job.
Okay.
Or from inactive version to active version, something like that. We can we have that functionality also. So now I will save this one. So I have created a activity, and in the activity I have defined what I want to do. Either I want to run a statistical forecast, or alerts running, or macros running, or like releasing the forecast or transferring the forecast. Then I need to define a job for particular this activity. This is the change option, just if you want to change, and this is the deletion if you want to delete it. Just a copy, you want to copy the same job to create other job, and check, like you want to check if the job is properly created or not. And this one is the scheduled. It means when this job should be run, I will decide into scheduling this background job.
Okay.
So I will go to this job, and here you can see, if you want to run immediately, you can select this option. If you want to run any specific date, you can select the date. If you give the date and time, so that it will run, it will start scheduling on this date, and here there is a periodic values are there. So it means if I select like a hourly, so every hour from this date, from December 1st, like it will start morning 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, like that. Every hour it will run continuously. And if I say day, like every day from December 1st, it will run morning 9 o'clock. Like December 1st, it will run 2nd, 3rd, 4th, like that it will run. If I put weekly, December 1st, it will check what is the week. December 1st is the Thursday. So every Thursday, this job will run. And monthly, every month, first it will run. And other periods, I can select like a, if you put 3, like every 3 months, once it is run. Weeks 5, if every 5 weeks, once it is run. Every 10 days, once it is run. Like that, we can put the hours, times, dates also. And so just like I am selecting them. And we need to select this periodic. So periodic means it will be repeated, otherwise it will not repeat. And for example, I want to run after any job, like the proportional job, proportional factor job is completed, then I want to run this one. So you give the proportional factor job here. So whenever the proportional job completed in the system, this job will start running. And we can define the event, and by triggering that events also, we can run the jobs. That SM36, I think we can maintain the event. So there we can create the event, and we can give this event, and any background process, if it trigger the event, the job will be start running. And here we can define the calendar, and based on the calendar we can put the work days also. Like if you put workday 5, so whatever the workday 5 in the calendar, that day it will be run. And if I give minus, like a last from last -2 from last to second workday, it will run. End of the, like that, end of the bucket, we can, end of the month we can select it. So now we will schedule this one into the immediately. I will select as immediately, no need to periodic, and save it. Now background job successfully scheduled. So once it is scheduled, we need to monitor the job in the SM37. Go to the SM37. If you know job name, you can give the job name. Otherwise, give the star. And you have scheduled the job. You have created the job. So the job will run on your name. So you can give your name. Or if you don't know the name, you can use the star also. And these are the job status. Like if it is a job is cancelled, it will show the cancelled status. If you select these options, so it will show whatever the status the job will be there. Like the job should be at least one status. If it is finished, it will show finished, and active means it is running, ready, just like a triggered, and released like we are scheduling next month. First it should be run, and scheduled just we are created the job. And I want to check what are the jobs are completed yesterday. So you can give the 15th date here, and you can give the 15th, so that we can see what are the previous jobs. And I know some event, so if you give that event, it will show what are the jobs are running under this event. And if you know some above program, we can give this program name, so that system will show whatever the jobs are running by this program. Like that, these are the options are here. Now I can go to the execution. It will show the job. The first time just I have scheduled and I have not released the job. So this one is showing into the scheduled, and this we are just running a immediate. So now the status is showing as a finished and job start and the start time. These are the as per the system time it will show you. Now you can see the system time. Start date and time is 17:32. System time is 17:34. So 2 minutes back this job run. Like that it will show the system time. So to see this job, select the job and go to the job log. Here we can check the log. Okay, the job is completed or not. It is completed and it is running by this program /SAP APO TS batch run. And if you come out and select the school and select this type, so that it detailedly it will show like whatever the combinations we have selected, B1, C1, L1, P1, product group 1 and sales organization 1. So successfully executed, and data also saved in the live cache. Like that it will give all the details like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have the 5 combinations, so it is showing for the 5 combinations. Now I have executed this job to generate a alerts, so that we can see the alerts are running or not. So we can go to the AMON one. What is the alerts it is generated, we can see. So this is created the 6 alerts, and you can see when it is created also. We can see created by this background job. See, the job name is GAPO1 ALS and created by this type 17:32 system type. So like that also we can monitor it. Created by of my ID and created time, like that everything we can see. And what combinations it is checking, like it is checking the combinations. These are the CVCs in our data, like P1, P2, P3, P in, P out and P like this is the combination. So here I don't want this many combinations. In that aggregated level, you can select only whatever the combinations really you required. Clear, Sandeep? This part?
Yeah, this part is clear.
Now,
one question, like if you're trying to, like in some scenarios, we try to schedule one job after the other, right? For demand planning jobs, we can do that also, like after finishing this job, then start the other one.
Yeah. Like after finishing this job, if you want another job, then in another job you can give after the job. We have the option like a immediate date after job. So there we need to give that pre-procedure job. And here another option is the manage logs. If you go to the manage logs, Like here we can see the display log, delete log, and delete all the logs. Say for example, this normally we used to run like every day, every 8 days. It means like whatever the 8 days back, whatever the system is generated, the spool and job logs, it will delete it, so that it will not file up all the logs information. Like normally, if you want to see the jobs, like till last 8 days, within the 8 days, I want to see the logs. So in the system, always it will show the last 8 days jobs completed only. So remaining previous jobs, it will delete it. Like it is like a performance, to improve the performance. Otherwise, unnecessarily, like how in our system the temporary files are occupying the space, same thing like that here also. So just like a cleaning the not relevant data. Now I will create a statistical forecast. APO1, I will give the name as a forecast. Forecast, create, and select the planning book, APO1, data view. Now we need to select the master forecast profile. So prerequisition is before that this should be already created in the system. Then only we can select here. And select the messages. Like if any exception, like any messages relevant, like any relevant errors are there, it will show by these messages. And execute it here, so that it will come into the action point and save it. And come here, create a demand background job and give the name as a forecast, APO1 forecast, and execute it. I will give a planning book, APO1, and what is the data view and what is the version. Here I will select the activity log. We will run for everything, or you can select the selection ID. And aggregated level. Now I will take only product and location. Forecast, I want to run only product and location level. And I will save this one. Now I can go for the scheduling. I will run immediately, save it, and go to the SM37. I can execute it. So it is showing this forecast job. Go to job log, finish it, and go to the score. And here you can see it will show the score. Like the forecast is generated. And wherever that like profile is there, it will show the message. The like profile is executed. Say for example, P like the following like profile was used. So if 10,000 records also there, just you can execute in the background. It will take just like 1 hour, and it will complete the giving the statistical forecast values in the system. And other than this one, like if I want to create a job in SM36/N, go to the SM36, SM37 for monitoring, 36 for creation. Enter, and I want to run the consistency like a time series job. So give the job name and go to the stub. In the stub we can give the program name, and you can give the variant APO1 and save it. And come here and again save and give the start condition. So I want to run immediately. Save it. Now you can go to the SM37, execute it. So it is running. Active means it is running. So like that, SL36 also we can create it. But what are the macros, what are the statistical forecast, release forecast and transfer forecast we can run by going to the creating of activity and background jobs. Anyway, that release forecast will be covered into the another session. So that time we will run into the background also, that release forecast. So this is also completed. Any questions, Fraser?
Okay. I'm little bit familiar with jobs.
Yeah, okay. Then it is easy for you.